Okay, now we've gotten the molecular weight of glucose here, but we can use the same formula for everything. Now I want to show you a trick that you can do. Okay, I'm just going to delete these two guys here, okay, these three guys here, and I want you to watch what happens to the totals and the sum of all of those, okay? Hit backspace, boom, whoops, actually delete, whoops. All right, computers are not always my friend, delete. There we go. And you notice everything resets. However, the formulas are still present. So if I want to actually save myself a little work, I can use the same thing to calculate anything. All right. Like for instance, if I was going to go carbon dioxide, all I'd have to do is type in carbon. Okay. Has an atomic mass of 12. And there's only one of those. Boom, and you notice that all of a sudden it adds to the total right here. It tells you the total is 12. And dioxide, whoops, and oxygen. Okay, tab that over, we know oxygen is 16. And we know that the number of those is 2. And watch what happens, it automatically updates my totals. So carbon dioxide is getting 32 grams of its weight from the oxygen and 12 grams of its weight from the carbon, and that gives us a total of 44. So the gram molecular weight of carbon dioxide is 44. But you may notice something. It's like, geez, you know, I used a whole bunch of different elements here. If I really want to, the nerd way of doing it is this way. This is what the tech geek does, okay? But let me show you what we can do if we want to make sure we're getting this right. So I'm going to click down at the bottom of the sheet, okay? Actually, I'm going to move the sheet up so you can see what I'm doing. And you'll notice at the bottom of the sheet it says sheet 1. Well, I'm going to change this to nerd. And on sheet 2 I'm going to make that nerd 2.0. Okay, so let's go back to nerd. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this whole formula and I'm going to go to nerd 2.0 and I'm going to click up in the upper corner and I'm going to just paste it. And I'm actually going to make a sheet that's even more useful to me. One that will work for all of them. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the number of atoms here. And you'll notice that all the numbers reset back to 0. All right. And instead I'm going to say, okay, what's hydrogen? All right, this is what the super nerds are going to do. All right, I'm going to say, well, hydrogen, I know hydrogen has an atomic weight of 1.0. And chlorine, I believe, is 35.45, and I'm doing that out of my memory, so you're going to have to excuse me if I'm wrong about that. It's 35.45. All right, and I'm going to just kind of flash back and forth between the two things. Let's see. Sodium has a weight of I believe it was, let's take another quick look, of 23. Okay, so 23. Now, you notice I put in a whole bunch of different atomic masses. The fact of the matter is I could put in all the atomic masses if I wanted to, but how is this helpful? Well, let me show you. All right, this is if you really want to know what you're doing. We've actually created a little computer that's going to do all our work for you. Let's go with, oops, and there's one more I wanted to talk about. Let's go with H2SO4. That's sulfuric acid, by the way. Well, I'm missing sulfur, so let me just go back to the chart. Actually, sulfur has an atomic weight of 32. All right, so let's see what happens. Okay, well, there's 2 hydrogens in H2SO4. Boom. There's no carbons. There's sulfur. There's 1 sulfur. And oxygen, I have oxygen up here, and there's 4 oxygens. Boom, and watch what happens. That automatically updates it, and I now know that the atomic mass atomic weight for sulfuric acid is 98 grams per mole. All right, so this is kind of a useful little trick. You can actually do each one individually, or if you want, you could actually create this little calculator for yourself where you have all the elements in there already, and all you have to do is plug in the number of each atom to calculate what the mass of the molecule is. All right, this is a little trick that you guys can use. I hope it makes your life easier, and that's it for this tutorial.